Welcome to the Rundown. Let's chase down the headlines. I'm on the street catching the latest buzz. Now, let's rank them. Who's owning the week? Pass. Tune in every Sunday to get your weekly rundown in 10 minutes flat.
Hey judges, it's Shania. Welcome back to the Rundown, where from here on out, I will be ranking the top 10 most polarizing political topics shaping the conversation each week. And judges, can you believe it? We are now on episode 9 and I'm still here breaking things down like only I can, with the tracking week for this episode starting on April 19th and running through April 25th. Okay, if you are new here, quick beat on how this works. I track the biggest political moments across the media landscape, then rank them based on impact, reaction, and the amount of noise they are generating. But before I get started, I have a humble request. Please hit the subscribe button and like this video. Okay, let's get back to the scheduled program, this rundown. Because judges, this week can be summed up with 2 words: pure mayhem. With that being said, it is time to fill this board. So, coming in at number 10, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Now judges, this dinner has been around since 1920. It is a celebration of the press and the First Amendment. But the lead up to the event held enough media space to make the top 10. With Donald Trump attending something he hasn't done while seated as president, and some of his notable guests, to include Nicki Minaj, as she has been in her political bag lately, so her popping out for this now is on par for her new era. Also, this event has late-breaking news because it is being reported that someone tried to breach the ballroom. Also, there was several conflicting reports, but once the press briefing started, some things were made clear. One thing is we now know the name of the armed suspect. His name is Cole Allen, and they are saying he somehow was staying at the Washington Hilton too. Another thing is he was heavily loaded with weapons, but we did not get explicit confirmation that he was able to get off a shot. Also, he was not shot, instead he was apprehended, but there was a Secret Service agent that was shot, but we don't know if it was from the suspect or friendly fire, and it is believed that he will be okay. And I'm not going to re-block the full rundown, but just know I will be plugging in a holding court on this one because what the fugula is really going on. And now we move to number 9. Eric Trump. See, Eric Trump is facing backlash because his political posture is reading as hypocrisy and disillusionment, as he went on a media run to speak against the Democrat Party and the recent special election in Virginia, while also boasting about a $24 million Pentagon contract deal coming his way. But because he kept rambling and revealed the contract deal, his original talking points fell flat, and that is what landed him in the top 10 on this episode of The Rundown. I'm not certain, but it feels like the pace is pretty good, judges. Let me know your thoughts. Now moving on to number 8, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. What's interesting about this is he is here for more of the same reason that he landed in the top 5 on last week, because he was on Capitol Hill for the second week in a row. This time, he was facing a Senate budget hearing, and yes, he was pressed once again about his reparenting Black children comments that he mentioned back in 2024. And this summed up to him stating that he had no memory of saying the statement, but if he did, he apologizes, and that he would need to see the transcript. All right, judges, before we move on to number 7, brace, because this one is a nail-biter, especially for active duty, military, and veterans. Okay, coming in at number 7, Master Sergeant Gannon Ken Van Dyke. Now from the top. Van Dyke is an Army Ranger who played a pivotal role in helping secure Maduro and his wife from Venezuela. Then he used his insider knowledge to allegedly place about 13 bets on the prediction marketplace Polymarket, wagering roughly $33,000, which netted him close to $410,000, and him doing this with insider knowledge is a no-go, and now he is facing federal charges because of it. Okay, judges, rounding out the bottom 5 is no other than Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Now, the Fed chair is on the nemesis list of Donald Trump, considering that Donald Trump wants his post, but as I know it, he doesn't have any plans of stepping down. And During this tracking week, the DOJ announced they were dropping the investigation that they just launched against him back in January. Now, all of this has interesting timing because at the same time, Trump is trying to get Kevin Warsh confirmed, which if he gets confirmed, he will be positioned to be the successor of Jerome Powell. So if you are still with me, thank you. We are halfway there. Now, coming in at number 5, John Phelan. In case the name doesn't ring a bell, until a couple of days ago, John Phelan was serving as the Secretary of the Navy. And his firing sparked conversation during this tracking week, mostly because we are in the middle of a naval blockade in the Straits of Hormuz, so the timing is suspicious. Also, his firing follows a pattern at the Pentagon, as Pete Hegseth has fired more than a dozen senior military officers and high-ranking officials in the last year. And now we move on to number 4, Representative Sheila Cherfilus-McCormick out of Congress. All right, Cherfilus-McCormick resigned minutes before the House Ethics Committee was set to vote on her expulsion. And all of this is because it is being alleged that she stole $5 million in COVID-19 relief funds, some of which she used on her campaign. The last thing to note is that her resignation comes on the heels of the resignations of both Swalwell and Gonzalez, so the shakeup on Capitol Hill continues. All right, judges, we have reached the top 3. That means the board is almost complete. So coming in at number 3, FBI Director Kash Patel. Now he's here because news broke that he launched a lawsuit against a reporter that broke a story about him. As the article alleges concerns related to excessive drinking and unexplained absences at the agency, and that at one point he even thought he was fired. And the thing is, it might not be long before he is fired given all of this. So I'll keep you posted on any breaking news. And now to the Covenant runners-up position, the special election out of Virginia for redistricting. And this one drew anger from the right, which left many perplexed, considering that most believe that all of this redistricting is due to actions initiated by Trump. This special election was held so the citizens of the Commonwealth could have a say as to whether or not the state should redraw its maps. Now, the results were tallied and the yes vote won, but the celebration was short-lived because a federal judge blocked them from making any changes for now. Okay, judges, we only have one spot left to fill the board, and the spot goes to the US-Iran conflict, war, excursion. And this conflict returns to number 1 after spending a week at number 2. And it's because this conflict is being decided on from day to day. Also, we learned that another carrier is headed to the region. And Trump decided to compare his timeline to all the conflicts before. And I said that to say, he doesn't know when this situation will come to an end. Also, it was said that negotiations were scheduled to resume, but Trump put a stop to that because he doesn't want anyone flying over there, which takes 18 hours, just to feel like it was a waste of time. And there you have it, my top 10 political moments of the tracking week. And now it's your turn. Do you agree with how I filled the board? Or did something else catch your eye? Drop in the comments and speak your piece. Also, please remember to pray for our active duty military and the veteran community and all the people that support them. And with that, I'm out. I'll see you next week for another episode of The Rundown. Bye-bye.